Father, may your peace, may your presence just be with us all. And this evening I pray, amen.
And here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Las Vegas local country music artist, Sienna Paglia.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Race fans,
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Let's do it right. No mistakes.
Well, place your bets. Whether you're on the favorite or the long shot, it's always a good time in Vegas. Some of the best racing in the Gander Outdoors Truck Series happens right here. And for some, they've even left a winner. That was the case for Grant Enfinger. The glitz and glamour suited him just fine when he won here last fall. But if he's to repeat tonight, he'll have to do it from the tail of the field after an engine change yesterday. For some, Vegas creates first-time memories. You don't have to tell that to Ben Rhodes. He'll never forget his night here 2 years ago when he scored his first career win. He looks to double down tonight. You want a longer shot? Try the odds on Timothy Peters. The veteran's one of 5 former Vegas winners in the field, one of just 4 drivers to finish top 10 in both races this season. Or maybe you want to avoid the risk and wager a little more on a favorite. How about Johnny Sauter? He scored his first career win here at Vegas and was runner-up in both races last season. Racing is the game, and there are numbers to suit us all, like the 24-4 maybe. With their stories, here's Alan Cavana and Hermie Sadler.
Well, Vince, driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports is a big-time opportunity. It also comes with big-time pressure. After the Atlanta race, Kyle Busch basically challenged his 18-year-old driver, Todd Gilliland, saying, your performance needs to improve. Your career is on the line. We expect you to step up and win races. I just asked Todd, what do you think of those comments? And he said, you know what? Everything that Kyle said was true. We know we need to perform better. When he says it, more people hear it. But I plan to get the job done tonight. He'll start 13th, Alan.
Hermie, Brett Moffitt finished 4th last week in Atlanta and said he still walked away disappointed. He said they just didn't have a truck that was capable of winning the race. This week, though, the opposite. Showed up with speed, fast in practice, fast in qualifying. And remember, 3 of his 6 wins last year came on mile-and-a-half tracks like Las Vegas. They have the speed. More importantly, he has the confidence they can win. Vince.
Going to be fun tonight to watch for sure. We don't know how it's going to play out, but we know it's going to be good. It always seems to be here in Vegas. Last year, the 2 races, 2 of the best races we had all season. Along with Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons, I'm Vince Welch. Great to have you with us here tonight. Michael, what makes the racing so good here?
These truckers can run wide open around the corners, and when they get to drafting, I promise you, Vince, they're going to throw the green flag. When they get to turn 1, 3 wide, I guarantee you. One of our favorites, Kyle Busch, is starting on the pole. Another favorite of ours, the guy that won here last fall, Grant Enfinger, he's starting from the back. This is the kind of action you'll see up front, and as Enfinger races from the back to the front. I know everybody's picking Kyle Busch as your favorite here in Las Vegas, but I'm telling you, he's not that much better than the competition at this racetrack. there's several drivers that think they've got Kyle's number, including Brett Moffitt. But Phil, if they're going to beat Kyle Busch, how do they do it?
Well, look at this record here that he's compiled here in the Truck Series, Michael. 52 wins. Last week at Atlanta, he's now the all-time leading winner in the Truck Series. He's won on 19 different tracks. He's got 36 wins with his own team, and he is the favorite, odds-on favorite here. I talked to the guys in the garage area, and they said, yeah, we're going to have to beat Kyle Busch. He's the guy that we're going to have to beat. Conventional wisdom would say, okay, we're going to run 30 laps to the first stage. We're going to put 2 tires on. Then we're going to run another 30 laps at lap 60. The end of the second stage, we're going to put 4 tires on. But that's when it gets interesting. What do you want to do in that final stage? It's 74 laps long. We know we're going to have a pit stop. This is an opportunity with these tires that they have here and the fact that they can run wide open, that they may do no tires. They might do 2 tires. They might do 4 tires. I think if you're going to beat Kyle Busch, you better do something different than what he does. That's the key. Do something different. Get out of the box.
How about the guy, as we talk about some that may be able to beat Kyle tonight, the guy that starts alongside him on the front row, Brett Moffitt?
I just feel like there's so much confidence. I talked to crew chief Jerry Baxter, and he said, we got the truck to do it with. And Brett thought he had Kyle beat here last fall. Some lap traffic got in the way, so they weren't able to pull it off. But there's certainly a lot of confidence from that young man. Won the championship a year ago, got a new ride. He's been front all year long. I think he's going to be a real story. And remember, Kyle Busch hit the wall. Breaking news in the Xfinity practice session just a bit ago. Maybe people will think he's not Superman now.
Last fall, Grant Enfinger won the race here. He's strong again, but he has to come from the back of the pack because they made an engine change. How difficult is that going to be?
It's going to be challenging because the pace is going to be so high here. This racetrack is cooling off. There's a lot of grip. As Michael said, these guys are running wide open around here. So he's one of those guys that's going to have to step out of the box. And Jeff Hensley is known to do that. His crew chief, he's liable to do a no tires. He's liable to stop halfway through the first stage and stay out to try to get that track position. A lot of opportunities to do that here.
13 different winners the last 13 races here at Las Vegas. Maybe somebody new adds their name to that list tonight. A lot of candidates. Let's go down and get the command and fire these engines.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, Vice President of Hotel Operations for the Strat Hotel, Mr. Rick Miller.
Drivers, start your engines.
Race number 3 of the season. You can feel the energy, and that's just what you would expect because this is Las Vegas.
What color would you call my pants? Camel?
Similar. I would think camel was a little lighter than that, but
yeah. Good job on that open, boys.
that was good, yeah.
Yeah, we did all right.
Did you see this?
I'm the
You got
worst rehearsal I ever saw. Who I got?
52.
Stuart Friesen,
Yep.
starting 7th. Corey Roper. Hey, Corey, it's Michael and the boys in the Fox booth. Do you copy?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Well, if you don't mind, we're going to give you a shout out when we come back from break and congratulate you on that great qualifying run and wish you good luck tonight.
All right, I appreciate that.
In gambling, the many must lose in order that the few may win. Bet, roll, win. Deal, bet, lose.
This is Las Vegas. In the casinos, there's a game for everyone. Here, the name of the game is speed.
Roll the dice, hit your marks, hope for the best. Only one truck, one driver will pull into victory lane.
Kyle Busch wins at Las Vegas.
The winners, are they that good or are they just lucky? Racing isn't gambling. Luckily, we're in that kind of town.
We love it every single time, and this is the 24th time that we're racing in Las Vegas, the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series. Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Under the lights, the trucks will be shining tonight and looking fast. Can't wait to get the green, but before we do that, got to take care of a little business. Let's hear from some of the crew chiefs that are competing tonight, beginning with Hermie Sadler.
Well, Vince, this is Junior Joyner. He's the crew chief for Matt Crafton. So despite the little winless streak you guys are on and despite qualifying 15th tonight, you and your team seem very confident. Why?
I don't know. Business has picked up in the 88 camp. You know, we're finding some stuff that he likes, and we found a few things this weekend. We were top of the board in practice and really good on average. Kind of a disappointing start spot for the Menards F-150, but just a place, right, to start. So maybe it'll be more fun like this. I don't know. To win, we got to beat the best in the business, and I think we got a truck that can do it tonight, you know, so we'll just see what happens.
Watch this 88 truck in turns 1 and 2. That is the place they feel like they can do the most damage. Alan?
Herman with Mike Hillman Jr. Last year, he was the crew chief for Kyle Busch. You took 2 tires and ended up winning the race. This year, you're with Harrison Burton. Will you need strategy to beat Kyle Busch this year?
I think you always need strategy to beat Kyle Busch, but our Safe Light Tundra is really good, and all the trucks out of KBM are really good. Just really proud of everybody on this 18 truck and everybody at KBM for how hard we work and the fast trucks we build. And we'll see what the night shakes out and see what we got to do when it comes time in that last stage for a little bit of strategy.
Good luck, Vince.
Thanks, Alan. And let's take a look at this racetrack, the Gander Outdoors track description. Mike?
It's 1.5 miles in length, Vince, but the thing that's not written here is the grip that's in it. These drivers will be running right out next to the wall, down low on the track. You can see the turns are baked from 18 to 20 degrees. It's just a perfect little racetrack for these truckers. Great racing.
Yeah, let's take a look at the race analysis. We talked earlier. This is 134 laps, 201 miles, 3 stages, 30, another 30, lap 60, and then that last stage where you're going to do some strategy on 74 laps long. Pit window's about 50-55. That means we're going to have a pit stop in stage 3, guys.
We had qualifying earlier this afternoon. Of course, Kyle Busch won the pole, but one of the great stories of qualifications, Corey Roper qualifying 5th quickest. Let's chat with the guy. It's a great night for him.
Yeah, it is. How many people you think went down to the strip and put a little bit of money on Corey Roper? See what Corey's got to say. Great starting position. He had a great run going down at Daytona and got in a little bit of an accident. Let's see if we can catch him. Hey, Corey Roper, Michael Waltrip and the boys in the Fox booth. You copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Say hello to America. We're introducing them to you. What an awesome job in your qualifying effort. Can you hang with these boys tonight and run up front all night?
Well, we're going to try. I'm still trying to figure out if this is a dream or not, but we're going to take it as we got it. We're going to try to keep on this 18's bumper and see what we can do here, my friend.
Well, I love that Texas accent. You go get them. We're going to have fun following along tonight.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
Take a look at the starting lineup. This race has been won from the pole 8 times. It was won from the pole a year ago when Kyle Busch drove it to victory lane. He'll try to do it again tonight.
See, Grant Enfinger again qualified up on the second row, but we'll have to go to the back for the start.
Average starting position of the winner, by the way, is 5.3 here at Las Vegas, and Corey Roper is starting 5th, Mike. So your suggestion of going down to the old window and putting a little something on Corey, you never know.
See Matt Crafton all the way back there in row number 8 with Ross Chastain.
Jesse Little got John Deere on that truck, number 97 with John Deere on it. Reminds me of his daddy, and he's really proud to carry those colors.
Spencer Boyd, Austin Wayne Self, Corbin Forrester, Gus Dean, a little back further in the pack. Stephen Parsons, Phil, great to have your boy in the race. Happy for him, and you too, Dad.
Get a little bit of experience here, maybe.
32 trucks lined up, and a few of them are going to be carrying and providing some special looks for us.
Yeah, let's ride along with Angela Ruck. This is the Ruck Life Chevy. What an amazing job that she did at Daytona. Had a top 10 finish. And Michael, she's going to have a visor cam too. She's starting 22nd.
Let's hop up inside the top 10 and ride along with Stuart Friesen. If you're watching home, this is a win waiting to happen. He ran in the top 5 in all 4 stages here a year ago. Did a great job. Didn't get the finish, but he will win this year, I promise you.
Harrison Burton, we're also going to ride along with Harrison in the Safe Light Auto Glass Toyota. He ran in the top 2 at Atlanta last week for 52 laps. A late restart, he was in the wrong lane, not by his choosing. It relegated him to an 8th spot. He's going to start from the 3rd spot on the Toyota onboard. And let's listen in to what he had to say just a few moments ago.
Thank you guys for everything. I appreciate all the hard work all week. It's been a lot of fun as always. Got a good truck, got a good starting spot. Appreciate all you guys do. Go get a win that everyone deserves. All right, bud, just like we planned. Clean them up good. Push, push, push. Go get them.
You know what I love about this place, Vince? There's no wrong line. You're not going to get in the wrong line on a restart here. Every lane has a lot of grip, and these truckers will be using them all.
Yeah, nice and cool conditions here tonight. Be plenty of grip out there, and the pace truck is off. They're lined up in rows of 2. Kyle Busch, the pole winner on the inside. Brett Moffitt, last season's champion, on the outside. The flagman with the flag in hand, and it is green in Las Vegas.
Looked like somebody had a bit of an issue on the initial start. That spread the field on a little bit towards the back.
Look at that nice push Harrison Burton in the 18 truck gave Kyle Busch in that 51, put him right out front.
3 wide right away, and that's Corey Roper in the middle.
That didn't take long, did it?
I wasn't overselling it when I told you they got to turn 1. They're going to be 3 wide. That's exactly what they were. And look at Moffitt. He's looking on the high side. That outside groove is working nice already.
Side by side for 2nd, and then 3 wide for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Oh, and how about Austin or Sheldon Creed way down below the white line, making a move in that 2 truck.
How about right?
Still 3, 2 wide, outside, just outside.
Man, Corey Roper in that red truck, he's been in the middle the whole race. He needs to get low or high and take some pressure off of himself. This is just his 8th or 9th start in the series. 9th start here tonight, so not a lot of experience, and that's where you don't want to be.
See Todd Gilliland, the 4 truck, going around the outside.
All clear all around.
Shelton Green in that 2. What a strong day he had yesterday. A lot of people talking about him being one of the fastest trucks.
Here's a look at that start, and you saw one of those trucks just didn't fire off, Phil, as you said, and that, I think, was the 8 of Angela Ruck.
16.
A little bit of contact there between Friesen and Roper.
Bottom 3 here. Bottom 3. Still bottom 3. Bottom 3.
That's what Corey Roper's heard this whole race. Bottom 3, middle 3, or 3. And look at the damage on the 52 truck.
That was a little bit more than incidental contact, wasn't it?
He's able to hang right in the 7th position.
But Ryan Reed there on the inside in that 17 truck, battling with Brennan Poole, and now Poole gets around, and Sheldon Creed is right there on the back of the 17. Reed in the series for just the 2nd time. It's been a long time since he's been back.
You see that wiggle by the 2 of Sheldon Creed there.
He got it down on the apron, Phil. You saw the sparks fly. That upset the chassis of the truck, and sliding he went. Luckily, was able to slide up and not make any contact.
Still a side-by-side battle for 2nd with Harrison Burton and Brett Moffitt. Austin Hill right there in the mix as well.
What about our Daytona winner, Austin Hill? What a great start to the season it's been for he and his team.
Solid run last week at Atlanta, finished 7th. Again, he was one of those like Harrison Burton, caught maybe in the wrong line that didn't really go on the restart. Cost him a couple spots, but still a solid run.
Moffitt gets 2nd from Burton. Early laps, 6 laps in of the 30-lap first stage here at Las Vegas. There's Ben Rhodes in the 99 truck, a former winner here at Las Vegas. Rhodes may have had a little contact with the 8 truck of Angela Ruck. Let's see it. Yeah, absolutely.
Looked like Ben was in the wall.
And now there's the 2 of Sheldon Creed that has gone around. Corey Roper got into that as well.
Creed's going to get away with it looks, Vince.
Get it rolling here. Don't speed down pit road. Nice and easy.
Was running in the 8th position. We'd seen him
Carry
slip.
your tires so you get back around here, guys.
Ross Chastain maybe involved in that as well. Chastain, a couple of strong runs the first 2 weeks of the season in the top 10 in both.
A little bit of grass on the grill opening there for Sheldon Creed. Right rear tires down. Looked like Ross's tires were up at the 45.
But that's risky there with that two-truck field. If he goes too fast at all, the tire will blow out and it'll tear up his fenders on his truck.
Here's Creed.
That's that 3 wide
two.
again. These guys aren't shy to put them 3 wide. Creed with a strong exit to the corner. You can see he's already wiggling.
He really did a nice job staying off of Ryan Reed, but how about the job Matt Crafton did? Unfortunately, Corey Roper is not going to be as fortunate with that 04 truck. A lot of damage to the front of it.
Watch that truck just walk up the hill, and he had to finally crank it hard to stay off the 17 of Reed, and around he goes. And look at Crafton.
Crafton's on pit road, Hermie.
Vince, you see him working on the left rear of that truck. A lot of damage to the bumper area and the left rear. And you know, we just spoke to Junior Joyner, and he said despite their qualifying effort, they felt confident in their truck. But that's one of the things that you run into when you start mid-package. You always have that possibility of getting caught up in an accident. Their plan right now is to try to get this cleared off the left rear tire. No plans yet to change tires, but a lot of damage to the back of this 88.
Crafton was 9th at the time of the contact, and there's Corey Roper, and look at the damage done to that truck. Man, that's heartbreaking for that team.
Yeah, they were right behind Sheldon Creed. I'm sure Matt, jumped on the brakes, tried to avoid it, and unfortunately Corey probably, the next guy is the one that's really vulnerable, and unfortunately he got in the back of Matt.
It happened right in Matt's lap, so he knew exactly what he needed to do. Corey wasn't as fortunate to be able to see, got into the back of Matt.
A couple of favorites. Trouble early in Las Vegas. An early caution and plenty of damage, including to some of the front runners. And there's Corey Roper, who had that terrific qualifying effort earlier today, but his night is in jeopardy. And how about Matt Crafton, one of the favorites tonight? Plenty of issues for Crafton as well. And some of the others, here's Hermie.
Vince Grant in finger in the 98. You see him. Remember, he had to go to the back of the field due to an engine change. His truck is too loose. They came down pit road, removed some tape from the front of that truck, put the track bar down to get him some lateral grip on the entrance to the corners. 13 of Johnny Sauter. He came down pit road, took wedge out of the left rear. He was tight in traffic, and we saw Crafton came back down pit road, more work to the left rear, and 4 tires on the 88.
They went ahead and put 4 on that 88. I didn't know if they'd do that or not. This is a mile and a half that Matt has never been to victory lane at.
He's won at a bunch of them.
He's been knocking on the door here a few times, though. Runner-up 3 times. And we heard from his crew chief, Junior Joyner, just before we went green. They were really optimistic. Had a really strong truck in practice yesterday, and Junior said they felt like they had a truck they could work with tonight, make some noise, and unfortunately, it's wrinkled already.
I think they're still in good shape, though, Vince. I don't think that damage will hurt.
Kyle Busch on the inside, Brett Moffitt outside, just like we started the race. Restart and back to green in Vegas. Burton and Moffitt side by side for second. Poole and Austin Hill side by side for fourth.
We're going to say side by side 3 wide.
I was going to say all the way back.
And you know, running the bottom when you're 2-3 wide, that's where it's difficult. You don't have air on the side of your truck. It wants to get loose. So these drivers down on the bottom are really vulnerable, especially when the truck on the outside pulls down beside them.
Harris and Burton battling for second in that 18 truck. What a good run he had last week at Atlanta. 52 laps he spent in the top 2. Unfortunately, he was in the wrong lane on a late restart, and that was a lane that didn't take off, and he didn't get quite the finish that he really deserved. He finished 8th in that race.
He never ran 1 lap in that entire race outside the top 10.
Now, much better than 8th. Right now, he's running second, battling with Brett Moffitt.
Strong move early for Todd Gilliland, too. You see that truck up on the outside.
He's like the high side. He's been up there just about since
the whole race.
The green flag.
Here's a good look at Gilliland in that 4 truck, and Ross Chastain underneath him in the 45. Chastain getting around for position.
Shouldn't be a big surprise to see Ross Chastain running up towards the front.
It's not a surprise to see him running either. He races every time somebody cranks an engine.
Yeah, every time, yeah. I'm surprised he didn't run the K&N race over here at the dirt track last night.
What a thrilling affair that was, wasn't it?
What a great job by Haley Deegan going to victory lane.
I'd say she'll come truck racing here before long, wouldn't you?
I would think so, too. Here
Michael,
comes Matt Crafton.
You said Crafton's damage wouldn't harm him, and he is on the move, showing speed.
Stuart Friesen down on the bottom. Look at the damage on the 02 truck. And look, there's Creed. He's already had some issues, and he's not afraid to go on the high side, even though he spun out already.
He and Stuart Friesen side by side, and Friesen's had some contact already tonight as well. But that battle for second continues. Back and forth go Moffitt and Burton.
You know, we talked about Kyle being the favorite, but these two running side by side, and Kyle's not going anywhere. That's how tight the competition here in the Truck Series is. Moffitt just needs to clear around the high side and see if he can run down Busch.
You know, last week at Atlanta, that was a 1.5 miles. This is another 1.5 miles here, but I'm not sure that they could be any different than the Atlanta last week and Las Vegas this week.
Just a little over halfway through stage 1. On board with Harrison Burton.
There it is. Around goes Moffitt to second.
Finally closes the door on Burton. It's Kyle Busch at the front, Moffitt and Burton second and third, and man, it is a gaggle everywhere.
Just like last year, such good racing we have at this racetrack.
You don't have to look hard to find the action here in Las Vegas. We're going to step away for commercial, but you won't miss a thing. Keep your eye on it as we keep on trucking. The Gander Outdoors Truck Series from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where Kyle Busch continues to lead here in stage one as we're 22 laps of 30 down here in the first stage. Kyle has led them all, but there have been some great battles throughout the field. Brett Moffitt chased down Busch for a while during that commercial break. You were watching it right there to the bumper of Kyle, but Kyle has since gapped the rest of the field, Alan.
Yeah, Vince, and that 51 truck getting better as this run goes along. As you said, we saw the 24 get close, but not quite able to pass Kyle. Kyle says the only thing he wants to hear on the radio right now is where Brett Moffitt may be having an advantage or may be gaining on the 51. He takes that information and tries to adjust his line or do what he can to take that advantage away from the 24. It seems to be working at the moment.
Yeah, Alan, if you've got a guy that's closing in on you, you want to know what his line exactly is. How's he doing just that? And then also, Phil, you know, you'll move your truck up and get in his lane, disrupting the air that's hitting the nose of the 24. And I think Kyle made a couple moves to do that, made Brett a little bit tight on exit, and he lost some ground.
Yeah, lost a second probably over the course of the last 3 laps or so.
And there is Moffitt. Natalie Decker in that 54.
Yeah, we're talking about
16th.
Haley Deegan's big win. Natalie Decker's strong early in the going here. She was running in the top 15 for most of the race, slipping back now a little bit. As you see on the outside comes Gus Dean in that 12 truck.
Yeah, there's Anthony Alfredo in that 15 truck ahead of her as well.
One of her teammates at DGR Crosley Racing.
There's the man back there, Johnny Sauter. That's a bit of a surprise. He hasn't gone anywhere in this race.
He made that pit stop on that caution flag, so he's trying to catch up now. He hasn't made as much progress as Crafton has, but still soldiering on.
You know, Phil, you talked at the beginning of the program about strategy, 2 tires, 4 tires, whatever the case may be. Kyle Busch having that conversation with his crew.
About 5 or 6 decent ones pitted at that first caution. They're going to have to pass them. So we're thinking about 2 or 4 here. 4, we're fine.
Yeah, I think they feel like they have a good enough truck that they don't need to take any chances on putting 2 tires on. I think if it was a little bit, if the competition was a little bit closer to them, they may think about 2, but you heard Rudy make the call, and Kyle actually made the call. He said, we'll be fine with 4 tires.
How about some of the others, though? Would they gamble with 2 here?
I think totally. I think we'll see a lot of 2 tire changes here. Again, mix it up.
Grant Infinger and the 2 of Sheldon Creed, they're back there 18th and 19th.
These are really good, solid trucks back here. Just now, back inside the top 20. A lot of these guys made pit stops. Obviously, Sheldon Creed did after that spin.
The pits are closed here, the final 2 laps of stage 1. Kyle Busch continues to lead. Busch has led all the laps here in this first stage, but was challenged for a while by Brett Moffitt, but has since put a little space between he and last year's champ, about 1.5 seconds currently. 1 lap remaining, the final lap here in stage 1, and there is the difference you saw between Kyle and Brett Moffitt. Meanwhile, the 17, good battle between Reed and Friesen.
Some playoff, some stage points, that risk right here for these guys.
Friesen would love to complete that pass, and he gets around Reed, moving him up in the 7th position.
Where the top 10 all get stage points. If you're running for the championship, Kyle Busch is not, but he's coming to get the green and white checkers. He swept both stages last week, and he is just taking care of business in stage 1 here tonight in Las Vegas.
Good runs, though, for Austin Hill. Good battle for 10th for that last stage point right here. Ben Rhodes makes that pass on the last lap to get him a point.
That might be the difference between moving on in the playoff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kyle Busch, he's from Las Vegas. He'd like nothing more than to put another Vegas trophy in the old case. On his way.
Let that roll out.
Back here in Las Vegas, Kyle Busch and Ross Chastain not running for Truck Series points, but those are big points to the others. Those are stage points earned in stage 1.
How about Ross Chastain started in the 16th position all the way to the top 5 here at the end of this first stage.
A nice job by Todd Gilliland, grabbing some spots early.
A little bit of pressure applied to Gilliland with some comments from his owner. He needs to step his game up. Well, that's a pretty good step right there, driving up inside the top 10.
Ben Rhodes made that pass just before the line to snag that final stage point.
Phil, you think anybody stays out? They got a few guys that pitted on that lap 8 caution.
I think there's an opportunity because they can certainly make it here. With 52 laps they have to run, and with these caution laps, that would easily get them in their window. Let's see if anybody takes the opportunity to stay out. Doesn't look like anybody's going to.
It is a long line behind Kyle Busch. That 4 truck of Todd Gilliland is getting ready to get into the position where Hermie Sadler is going to update us.
Started 13th, Vince up to 6th. He tried to lobby his crew chief for 4 tires, but it'll be 2 right side tires only and a wedge adjustment for the 4, Alan.
The crew chief of Jerry Baxter for 24, and Brett Moffitt, as you see in the middle of your screen, they said don't slide the tires. That usually indicates a 2-tire stop, but a long stop there on the right side. Expect the track bar and air adjustment for the 24 when they finally get back there on the track. The bottom of your screen, the leader, 4 tires for Kyle Busch. No complaints on the radio.
Boy, they had a problem there, the 24. Look, the rope or the hose is underneath the tire, and so that's why they can't get that.
Well, pull forward.
Yeah, and he's still sitting there.
They were calling for 4 tires, but they can't remove the hose from underneath that right rear. They took a long time on the right rear. They had a big problem there as well. So a very difficult situation here now for Brett Moffitt and crew chief Jerry Baxter. They came in great position, and now big problems on this pit stop.
What do you think? Want to talk to maybe Austin Hill, our Daytona winner?
Dial him up.
Hey, Austin Hill, Phil Parsons and the boys up in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Pretty solid run there in that first stage. What's your truck doing, and did you make any changes?
Oh, man, truck's pretty good. Got a little tight there off before. Pulled a little tape. Seemed like the motor was getting just a little on the hot side. So, but man, this A&D Weldon punch is really good, and I think we got something for these boys. We just need some clean air and stay up front and just keep up with the racetrack.
All right, buddy. Great job for the start of the season. Keep it rolling.
Thank you, man.
Well, we told you about Brett Moffitt and the 24 team's pit stop issues. Look at that right rear. All the problems they had here. And then it gets worse. Look, the hose is stuck under the right rear tire.
Thing that I will restore order in our building. I'm so tired of these teammates. I don't give a if you wreck them and I get fired. I am so over it. Let's knuckle up. They don't need to race us this hard. Need to have a meeting, sit all these down.
Some great racing tonight and more of the same coming your way Sunday. The Monster Energy Cup Series heating up right here in Las Vegas. 3:30 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Kevin Harvick on the pole for the first time ever at Vegas. First time he's won pole at Vegas. And Denny Hamlin, the Daytona 500 winner, will start alongside on the front row. 3 o'clock Eastern on Sunday. Our coverage begins here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
We saw some amazing racing today and qualifying for the Cup Series.
More issues for the 24. Alan, update us.
During that break, just more issues in the pits for the 24. You saw the horrendous slow pit stop they initially had. Well, they came out and Brett Moffitt radioed in and said they had a vibration, had to come back in for yet another pit stop and check all 4 tires back out there. No complaints on the radio right now, Herman.
Alan, the 2 of Sheldon Creed will restart outside of row 1. They got their tires earlier in the first stage of this race, so no tires on this stop. The truck was tight on entry, loose through the center. Talked to Doug Randolph, the crew chief, early today about Sheldon Creed, and he said this kid is not scared. He's not scared to put the gas down. We need to dial him back at times, especially maybe on some restarts. We'll see how he handles this one.
Yeah, I'd rather have to dial him back than to try to get him up. By the way, Anthony Alfredo stayed out. Should have been the first place truck, but
he didn't keep up with the pace truck, which means, Phil, he was shutting his engine off, trying to save a little fuel. You talked about the window, wanted to make sure they get that done, so he's going to start third. I'm a little bit nervous about Sheldon. Down on the bottom, he says he's loose off. That's not where you want to be with a loose truck. So you can see Friesen took the outside lane there in that 52, and it's already been an adventurous day for Sheldon Creed. This could be another one here. Let's watch.
Ready, green, green, green.
Stage 2 underway in Las Vegas. Wow, 3 wide and throw a blanket over 5 or 6 of them. Creed and Friesen side by side for the lead.
Look at Friesen, he chases Creed down, put a little air on the side of him.
How about Ben Rhodes? Company from the 99.
Outside.
He's hit the wall already.
You're clear behind him.
He's trying to take the lead.
Working the top.
Creed spun. He's in the top 5.
How about Austin Hill jumps down to the inside to get behind Friesen.
What a bold move that was.
On board with Stuart Friesen.
All clear. All clear.
Grant Enfinger started at the rear of the field. He's making his way toward the front in that 98.
Already up into the top 5. What a great battle he has going there. Look at Austin Hill fight that steering wheel in that 16 truck.
There's Ross Chastain in the 45, giving Hill a push. They're going to close right on the tailgate of Kyle Busch in the 51.
Kyle took 4 tires, and that's why many were able to leapfrog him on pit lane. But Kyle Busch with 4 tires, he's probably going to be at the front here shortly.
He could probably do it with 1 flat tire, actually. Just needs 3 of them.
Right there on the outside, though. His teammate is able to hang Todd Gilliland, and that's a great move around turn 4. He grabs the spot away from Busch.
Kyle lost some momentum there.
Austin Hill was right on the bumper of Kyle, had to back out of it just a little bit.
Oh, look, Hill out against the outside wall.
Just slight contact, but look at the momentum he lost there. He's going to get passed by 3, 4 trucks.
You get out of the gas and you're...
No smoke, just keep us posted here.
Good radio from Creed updating his team on the contact. Let's take a look at it here on the right-hand side. That's Ross Chastain underneath him.
That's Austin Hill that he puts into the wall, and Hill was complaining about the way he ran him up. You just lose your aero, Phil. The wake off these trucks is huge, and it just makes your front end lift up off the ground almost.
Creed was running 5th at the time, lost several spots, has gained a couple of them back. Into the 7th position now, and there's Rhodes in the 99. His teammate at ThorSport, Grant Enfinger, right behind him. That's for 4th.
A little bit of strategy by Jeff Hensley. Got that truck back up towards the front here. Battling his teammate Ben Rhodes now for the 4th spot. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle there.
Matt Crafton making it 3 wide. Crafton trying to get position.
Brett Moffitt, the 24. Gus Dean in the 12 truck. Look at Moffitt drive down to the bottom. Here comes Ryan Reed in the 17, trying to get around Gus Dean.
16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, all in that group.
Give Corbin Forrester in that 7 truck a shout out too. He's hanging right there with some really good race trucks. You said, Phil, it looked like Grant Enfinger got loose. Watch this.
Got a handful of. Ooh, look how sideways he gets.
Wow.
That'll get your attention.
Yeah.
What do you think, 160 miles an hour when that
At
thing
least,
broke
if not
loose?
more.
Matt Crafton in that 88 truck took some damage earlier because of some contact. Back in 18th, there's Grant Enfinger. We saw just make that big save. He's in 8th.
How do you think a guy like Grant Enfinger nearly crashes running 160 miles an hour, gets settled in, and goes right back after him? How does he not figure it might happen again?
He hopes it doesn't happen again.
On board with Harrison Burton in that 7th spot, looking back at Enfinger. And there's Kyle Busch getting around Todd Gilliland for 2nd. Enfinger on the move, Hermie.
Hey, Vince, guess what?
What?
Grant Enfinger is loose. But the good news is they have a lot of confidence in this truck. This is the very same truck that they won on at this racetrack last fall. They missed the entire 2nd practice, but they're dialing it in. Last time down pit road, only 2 right side tires, but still on the free side, they'll get another shot at it at the end of this stage, Alan.
Hermie, this is a track that brought Stuart Friesen in the 52 there. A lot of confidence last year. Remember, he led laps. He won a stage. They haven't had much speed all weekend, but they find themselves using strategy with a little bit of a lead. They would hope to steal another stage here, but you can see that 51 there lurking with just a few laps to go before the end of stage 2, guys.
Yeah, Kyle Busch about 0.2 of a second quicker than Stuart Friesen on that last lap.
But you notice, Vince, when he came off turn 2, he had some momentum. I think lost the nose a bit and didn't gain on Friesen down the back straightaway. So he's going to try to go high. But I like what Stewart's doing. I'm going to run you up a little bit so that air will disrupt the way your truck handles.
And if Stewart is comfortable up there, go ahead and move up even more just to get right exactly where Kyle wants to run.
Friesen ran up front in both the races here last year, finished 5th in the spring, ended up 17th in the fall, but it was after a penalty put him back deep in the pack, but he had a front runner kind of truck that day as well.
And you know, that's what you want to see out of your driver, Phil. Stuart Friesen is doing just what he's supposed to do. He doesn't want to just lay over and watch Kyle Busch go by him. Run your lane, mix it up a bit, make it difficult on the other drivers. And Stewart's doing a nice job.
You know, Stewart finished in the top 10 in 8 of our mile-and-a-half races last year, 8 of the 10 mile-and-a-half races last year.
Kyle Busch right there lurking. Busch led all the laps in stage 1, was the stage 1 winner. Took 4 tires on that first stop when many took 2. Friesen continues to lead. Kyle continues to stalk. We're going to go to break, but you're going to see it all as we keep on trucking from Vegas. You saw it, Kyle Busch making the move on Stuart Friesen. Friesen lost just a tick of momentum, and Kyle pounced, and back to the front is the 51 truck of Kyle Busch. Last week's winner at Atlanta, and with that win, broke the record for most wins all time in the Gander Outdoors Truck Series. Here's the battle for 5th. That's Harrison Burton on the inside, Ben Rhodes outside. Rhodes a winner here a couple of years ago. It was his first career win.
Rhodes' truck's looking a little rough, isn't it, Vince?
He's beat up already. 5 to go here in stage 2.
Well, these 30-lap stages go by fast, don't they?
Harrison Burton has been in the top 5 most of the day here today. Another strong run for the 18-year-old.
Just ahead of him, teammate Todd Gilliland's doing a nice job in the top 5. Ross Chastain just grabbed that spot away. Look at this, 3 wide with lap traffic.
Trying to make their move. Again, Burton continues to hunt down.
What about Matt Crafton, that bright yellow truck, Phil? Up inside the top 10 after that damage, heavy damage early in the race. He's rolling.
What a great comeback for Matt Crafton. We knew that he had a good truck. Got that damage from that incident, had to make several pit stops during that first caution flag. Didn't really get the track position back till after the end of that first stage.
On board with the 18 of Burton, and that's Ben Rhodes ahead of him. What's going on with Johnny Sauter? Haven't said his name much tonight, Hermie.
Well, Vince, his truck has been really loose all night. They came in down pit road last time, 4 tires, track bar, and wedge, and it got better for a while, but the truck is free, getting free again at the end of this stage, and he's going to drop outside of the top 10, so potentially no stage points this time for Sauter. Also want to keep an eye on the 98 guys. Potential engine issue for the 98. Remember, he's already changed one this weekend.
Well, that's right, Hermie. They had problems at the end of that first practice on Thursday. Infinger back in 16th right now.
Yeah, we saw him racing up in and around the top 5. I think there's something when it comes by our broadcast position sounds bad, and I would guess it's probably that 98 engine.
Well, it's not the 51, I can tell you that. It is full steam ahead for Kyle Busch on this final lap here in stage 2.
This is a great battle. These guys can't sort it out. Look at Burt down on the bottom, Ben Rhodes. It's been that way for 5 laps as Kyle Busch comes off to grab the green and white checkered.
Kyle Busch, winner of stage 2 here in Las Vegas. Burton and Rhodes continuing to battle for 5th, coming to the line, and it's going to be Ben Rhodes.
That's a couple passes that Ben has made on the last lap in both stages.
That's awesome. That was a nice move there, huh?
It was.
Crafton got back into the top 10. Who can beat Kyle? Raise your hand in Las Vegas. Through 2 stages tonight here in Las Vegas, the Gander Outdoors Truck Series. You see the points earned, the stage points earned so far through these first 2 stages. You don't see Grant Enfinger's name on that list. Enfinger second at Daytona, third at Atlanta, but issues under the hood tonight, and he's had to come to pit road early to pop the hood and take a look at that after an engine change already yesterday. So tough night for the 98 of Grant Enfinger, former winner here in Las Vegas. Kyle Busch at the front, Stuart Friesen second in line, and they're all going to be heading to pit road.
I think 4 tires is the call right now, so that puts you in position where you can use some strategy during that 3rd stage.
Todd Gilliland having a nice run tonight, pitting from the 4th spot, and Hermie will be there waiting.
Yeah, Vince, last time the Ford truck got 2 right side tires. This time it will be 4 tires on Gilliland's truck. The truck is rotating too much on the right front, he said. They're adding air pressure to the right rear and a wedge adjustment for the 4, Alan.
Hermie Stuart Friesen in the 52 there. He lost the lead on that last run, but that's really about it. Remember, he was just on 2 tires after that last stop. Right now, he's getting 4, and an air pressure adjustment and also a handling adjustment. Kyle Busch in the 51 on the bottom of your screen, getting 4 tires right now. Still says he's too tight despite regaining the lead. Kyle Busch, though, overall happy with the track bar adjustment and air pressure change.
Good battle off pit road. Chastain picked up a spot. Kyle Busch has won both stages tonight. See if we can dial him up on the radio, Michael.
Yes, sir. Hey, Kyle, it's Michael and the boys in the Fox booth. You copy?
Yes, sir. What's up?
Oh, we're just watching you have a dominating performance again this week. Historic win last week. How's the truck tonight? Did you make some adjustments there?
Yeah, 10-4. We've been working on this thing every chance we've had. You know, certainly we've got a really fast Cessna Tundra, but it's been a little bit on the tight side here tonight. So just trying to get it to where we need it here for the end of the race, and try to stay up front here.
Looked like you had a lot of trouble battling around Friesen there. Did your truck get tight behind him? Is that what happened?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the trucks punch such a big hole in the air that when you lose that air, it's detrimental, but then you can recover on the straightaways, you know, so you just have to use all your tools in order to try to make sure you do what you can do. I tried going high on him, and he just kept coming up and getting in front of me in order to block the air. So finally we got some lap traffic there, and he got really messed up, and I was able to get by him. So it's just a matter of being ready for what's in front of you, I guess.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you talking with us. Have a good rest of your race.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, be ready for what's in front of you, beside you, behind you, everywhere. You better be ready, even on pit lane. We noted before the break, Ross Chastain picked up a spot on pit road, and now we know why. The Xfinity fastest pit stops. Chastain's team, the fastest of the bunch. 15.2 on that 4-tire stop.
That's awfully close when they're warming these tires up, aren't they?
That's impressive work, Vince. 15.2 to change 4 tires and fill her up with gas.
Get ready for this restart to begin the final stage of the race here in Las Vegas, and we'll take the green and bring it to you with a McDonald's. Crank it up.
Out of line, 1 back. To the bottom of Burton.
I bet you Stewart's glad that's out his rearview mirror. What do you think, Vince?
I'll run him inside here.
Look at that mess he's
Moffitt.
looking at.
Wow, Moffitt got squeezed out 4 wide with Burton, Gilliland, Ben Rhodes, and Matt Crafton was there. Now Sheldon Creed in the mix. Crafton on the outside, getting a position.
How about our man Crafton? We're 4 wide again down the front. Moffitt to the bottom.
Ryan Reed does a little push job on the 2 of Sheldon Creed that shot him out in front of that 4-wide battle.
Wow, look at this pack.
This is a mess.
You better not zig when you're supposed to zag. You're going to collect a bunch of them.
They're just so aggressive. You know they got to make moves on these restarts. Get every spot you can.
We know we have to make another pit stop, guys, but there's no guarantee that there'll be a caution to do it. So you better get all the track position you can right now, or you better make it happen.
That group right there is about 14th on back. Every position is contested. Kyle Busch continues to lead. Early laps here in stage 3, the final stage of the night.
Well, I tell you, that 98 looks better. Maybe they did some repairs on that caution flag. Maybe fix that engine.
How about it, Hermie?
It was a plug wire. Phil, they came down pit road about 3 times. Finally got their stuff together with the Elmore engine support staff, and they got the plug wire fixed, back up to speed.
Good deal.
How rarely is it a plug wire, Phil? You hope it is, but it's usually a valve or something under the hood, worse than just a plug wire. What about Stuart Friesen? He's able to keep track of Kyle Busch. We heard Kyle talking about how difficult it is to run in the wake of another truck. Friesen must have improved that truck on that pit stop.
We got 52 wins in the series, leading 4 second-place finishes without a win, running second with Stuart Friesen.
The 12 of Gus Dean got some contact as he got into the wall coming off turn 4. Take a look at that. That's Brennan Poole underneath him in the 30 and
got a little loose, had to chase it up the hill, ran out of racetrack.
Oh, that's pretty good contact.
It is. And naturally, they go by underneath him, two side by side.
Still rolling.
He'll have to make sure he doesn't cut a tire, Vince. Go into that outside wall hard if he does.
That's the battle in the front. Kyle Busch leading and Stuart Friesen taking a look.
How about our man Crafton? Is he the fastest truck on the track? I believe so. He's come all the way through the field, and he's putting pressure on Ross Chastain in that 45 truck ahead of him.
And Brett Moffitt, the 24 truck, right behind Matt Crafton.
The top 5 in a line, but if somebody would bobble just a bit, they'll be swallowed up quickly.
I just like the way Crafton's driving. We heard him being very confident after leading practice yesterday, saying, I've got the truck to win with. And you can tell he's not shy about going up on the high side and trying to make moves.
Friesen second. Oh, big wiggle there from Stuart Friesen, gathered it in.
That's going to open the door for those 2 trucks behind him to have a big run on him.
And it wasn't long ago the 52 was just on the bumper of Kyle Busch. The team obviously would love to see the 52 truck of Stuart Friesen in the lead, but they are reminding him, don't finish off your tires here. You know what to do to save them. A little planning for the end of this race, not necessarily getting the lead right now.
That's a great point, Alan. I know how much Stuart Friesen, a long race for him in his career has been about a 25-lap feature.
Maybe 30.
Maybe 30, you're right. But right now, he's got to be smart and conserve his tires the best he can, hopefully to have something left later.
How about Brett Moffitt? He was 5th, now 3rd, as he's gotten past not only Crafton, but also Ross Chastain. And there's Stephen Parsons coming back to pit lane. They had the hood up on that truck just a little bit ago.
Yeah, right after we went back green on the restart, they came down pit road.
Gus Dean is coming as well. Remember the heavy contact. You see the right front down on Dean's truck.
Luckily, he didn't get into the outside wall any more. He was able to get it to pit road. Boy, I like the adjustments that team made, right? He's able to really heat up Kyle Busch.
A couple of tough races to start the season for Friesen. 10th at Daytona.
Got behind to the 24, then he's got a gap of 5 to the 88. Keep working it.
Think about it, Vince. On the first lap, Friesen suffers damage. Brett Moffitt, pit road troubles to the back of the pack. Matt Crafton in that first caution wreck, he got heavy damage. These guys have all rebounded and now are challenging for the lead.
Draft right with him in line. Put that left front out a little bit. Keep air on it. Just mix it up. You'll feel that turbine. Stay in line those straights. Get a good draft. You'll feel it right there. Just keep that momentum. Switch it up on it. You know what he'll do.
Rick Corelli, the spotter. Trip Bruce, the crew chief for the 52 truck of Stuart Friesen.
It's tough to keep that left run out a little bit from Kyle when he's running with his left sides underneath the white line in the corner.
Michael talked about how Matt Crafton came from the back. He's inside the top 5, Hermie.
And Vince, I spoke to Junior Joyner this weekend, the crew chief on this 88, about the development and the progress of this race team. He said, you know, since last June, we've been working on a new type of a setup, a new generation setup. We almost aborted mission a couple weeks ago, but he said, I came up with some ideas on the way home from Atlanta. We unloaded. We've been as best we've been off the truck in quite some time. You see Junior Joyner on the right. So a lot of optimism, but we need to keep an eye on the 88. Last time by, Crafton said his water temperature gauge was buried on the dash. They're concerned about maybe overheating on the 88.
Well, we've definitely seen some speed from that team this year that we didn't see at times last year in the 16 of Austin Hill. The Daytona winner is on pit road, unscheduled stop.
I can add quick. Look, the 16, they've been saying all night they've had high temperatures and they didn't know what the cause was. They came down asking us to look at our cameras to see if they could see anything blocking the right front. Couldn't diagnose it quite yet, but now you see the problem is reared its head.
Didn't see any debris on the front of that grill.
These teams, Vince, they put as much tape on the nose as they can in order to have the ultimate aerodynamic downforce and speed. And they want that temperature to be around 240, right in that area. And if it goes up much past that, it's big trouble.
And remember, the ECU will actually detune that engine. If it gets too hot, it goes into a safe mode, and it will retard the timing and actually lose some horsepower.
Yeah, tough break for Austin Hill. He was inside the top 10 at the time. No problem so far for Kyle Busch. Continues to lead. The Gander Outdoors Truck Series from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We are in the third and final stage. Great onboard view from the truck of Angela Ruck. Running 21st.
Doing a nice
Still
job.
on the lead lap.
Nice job too, Vince. Hanging right there on the lead lap, and look at this battle. We've talked about Moffitt since we got to this town, how strong he was going to be and how confident they are. Looks like he's got that thing right here at the end.
As good as Friesen was, Moffitt got right past him. You know, Friesen, they were really unhappy with their truck yesterday. They tried a lot of different things, just couldn't quite get it to the place that they liked, but pretty sporty today.
Yeah, really did struggle yesterday. We don't know whether the track came to them or they got together with their teammates at GMS and maybe made some changes, but whatever the case may be, he's been pretty solid.
Last time by with that move, even around Friesen, Brett Moffitt, a solid 10th and a half faster than Kyle Busch.
Speaking of Kyle had some comments after the Atlanta race about Todd Gilliland and talking about the fact that he's got a great opportunity. He needs to run better. Right now, Gilliland is running 8th. And that's what's expected when you're in Kyle Busch Motorsports equipment. Run up toward the front, and Gilliland right now sits 8th. Fair assessment on Kyle's behalf, or is that a little extra pressure that he just put on the 18-year-old?
I think he's got a little pressure on him after that statement. I don't think you can deny it, but I also think there's a lot of potential here for Todd Gilliland. He's got to just get comfortable with what he's doing. We've seen all the success young drivers have had in Kyle's equipment. Obviously, you're going to get compared to the others.
And Michael, Vince and I talked during the qualifying show how, you know, he almost won. Literally could have easily won 2 races last year, and then we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Texas, he runs out of fuel with a half a lap to go. Canada, he's leading the race and had got into it with his teammate Noah Gragson as they exited the final corner. He wins those 2 races. We don't even have this conversation.
The one thing I do like is that those inside Kyle Busch Motorsports said that's not anything that Kyle hasn't said face-to-face with Todd Gilliland or have that conversation with Harrison Burton. It wasn't as though he was just talking in the media and hadn't said it to themselves as team owner to the driver. So, you know, Kyle's the boss, and when you drive for Kyle, that's the that's the feedback you're going to get.
Yeah, and these young guys know that too. That's why they are so fortunate to be put in that position in that kind of equipment. And I think we'll see both of those young drivers prosper sooner rather than later.
What about the job Anthony Alfredo's doing tonight? That's a battle for the 12th position. He's just been solid all night long. Great run. Saw a little bit of contact early in this race with another truck. He was able to overcome that. I'm impressed by this young man.
Remember, he was running 10th at Atlanta last week. Got in that wrong line for that late restart. It hurt his finishing position, but a solid effort again here at Las Vegas for Anthony Alfredo.
He ran 13 laps in the top 10 at Atlanta. Yeah, he did a nice job. And the 97 of Jesse Little is just behind Alfredo, and there you see Little currently running 14th. Good to see Jesse out west. A lot of times doesn't come out west.
Partnership with John Deere. You see John Deere on his hood. Phil, you and I raced against his dad in the John Deere number 97. It's
Same number, exactly.
Really cool seeing this partnership continue. Jesse's such a fine young man, works hard on this truck himself, small team, and they always seem to overachieve. Atlanta wasn't a great race for them. They got in an accident, but here they've performed at a level that I think they could be proud of.
The 44 is Timothy Peters, former winner here in Las Vegas.
Right behind Timothy is Jordan Anderson. Jordan's having a solid run. Another one of our regulars that we're able to see really perform up to a great standard here in Vegas.
Timothy, one of the guys that has top 10 finishes in both races this year. Jordan Anderson, he just keeps getting better, keeps upgrading his equipment every year. Lucas Oil on board here for Jordan Anderson to help this effort out here. Kevin Eagle, his crew chief, talked to him in the garage here. Very optimistic about having a solid run here, and they're doing that.
And what I like about Jordan, every time you see him in the garage, no matter what, he's always got a smile on his face.
Right. And if you don't follow him on Twitter or all that social media stuff, you're missing out, because he's always got a good story to tell. Right behind him, there's Tyler Dipple. Dipple, a little bit of damage early in the race on that one of the restarts, but he's rebounded from that.
Had an 11th place finish last week in Atlanta, another one of our first-year racers.
Trying to work his way to underneath the 3 of Jordan Anderson, not quite able to do it that time.
Dipple ran a handful of races at the tail end of last season, but competing for Rookie of the Year honors this year for Young's Motorsports.
We're in our window, guys, with 39 laps to go. If the caution were to come out, or you even had to make a pit stop for an unscheduled reason, you can make it the rest of the way from here.
Can anybody catch up and pass and beat Kyle Busch? We're going to find out.
Running again. This time.
Whoa. Well, just as we were talking about Jordan Anderson go to break, and a problem for the three. Heard his radio communication that the engine had shut off at one point, but got it back fired up. But Anderson having to come back to pit lane, or come to pit lane actually. Did not come in previously. And here's Kyle Busch continuing to lead, better than 2 seconds over Brett Moffitt. Angela Ruck, you saw Kyle just went past on the outside.
He's doing a nice job running up in the top 20 here after that great run at Daytona. Won by Corbin Forster right there in the 7 truck. That is for position.
And that will put her in the free pass position too, Phil.
That's right.
That's a great pass. Just ahead. Natalie Decker is in danger of going a lap down to Kyle Busch.
That would put her in the free pass position.
Matt Crafton closing in on Stuart Friesen for third. It's been an eventful night for both of these guys. Early contact, and they have both raced their way back into the top 5. What are they saying about Crafton, Hermie?
Well, Vince, you would think Matt Crafton, with all of his experience at this racetrack, would know, really where he needed to be on the racetrack given the performance of his truck. But listen to this conversation between he and his spotter.
51, same line as you in 3 and 4. Only difference is a huge arc in. Just a huge arc in. Gets to the bottom a little later than you. Try the next time back. Exact same as the previous. 10th and a half better than the 52.
You got to really appreciate Matt Crafton with his experience being open-minded to information being passed along and taking advantage of it on the racetrack, and green flag pit stops are underway.
Yeah, that's one of the resources, the spotter, Jason Hedleski, the spotter for Matt Crafton. They do so much more than just tell their driver about traffic.
And remember, Kyle Busch wanted to know at the beginning of the race where his competition was running on the racetrack.
Brennan Poole on pit road. You also saw the 17 of Ryan Reed come for a stop.
It's not a bad planner to try to split up this final stage. An issue obviously for the 30. That's going to hurt him. That's going to hurt that strategy. But If you come in now and we go green the rest of the way, you'll have fresher tires longer than the other guys.
Look at
as
the move.
Matt Crafton makes his way finally around Stuart Friesen for the 3rd spot.
And you talked about it, Vince.
Problems on the right.
Talked about the spotter helping. Matt Crafton said, I'll try it next time by. He went to work on his line and immediately was able to figure out a way around.
You got to roll it back here, guys. Roll it back here to the pit box.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Pool. Yeah.
He was having a solid run tonight.
I think I just saw it fire off, and there he goes.
Johnny Sauter to pit road as well. It's been a tough night for Sauter. Haven't moved to the front. He's pitting from 11th, Hermie.
Truck's been very, very loose all night long. They talking about 2 right side tires for the 13 and a wedge adjustment to try to get Johnny some more side bite and stability for this 26-lap run to the checker.
Remember, everybody has to come to pit lane one more time, and these stops now being made under green as Sauter is off and away.
Can't afford a mistake now, Phil. The driver's got to do his job, make sure he gets down to pit road speed, and then the crew fast and get everything tight.
Ross Chastain getting by Stuart Friesen for 4th.
As much momentum as Ross had, I would think that maybe Stuart got hung up with a lap vehicle, slowed his momentum a little bit, because you saw all that momentum that Ross Chastain had when he got to him.
Yeah, pour salt in the wound of the 30 Brennan Poole, all the problems they had on pit lane, and got penalized for having a man over the wall too soon. Oh, near contact on pit lane as Timothy Peters was coming out of his pit box and Angela Ruck was going in, narrowly avoiding contact. There's a good look at Chastain, continues to run 4th, and Friesen, who was in 5th, is coming to pit road, getting it woed up.
Nice job. It looks like he was perfectly down to pit road speed. A lot of speed getting to the line. Alan, he's on your way.
Yeah, and for the first time tonight, we're hearing drivers complain about being too loose on the racetrack. Put Stuart Friesen in the 52 on that list, says he's just too free from the middle of the corner on off, and they expect 2 tires for the 52 there as they attempt to win the race. Brett Moffitt coming to pit road as well. Remember, he came into this race with a lot of confidence. Sincerely believed, there he is, Brett Moffitt in the 24. They sincerely believed they had a truck that could win. 3 of his wins last year came on 1.5 mile racetracks. Expect 2 tires and fuel for the 24.
Well, you can't afford any miscues on pit road if you have any chance of winning. Don't give up any spots, and you're pitting under green especially.
And remember, this team had issues earlier on pit road, but it looks like this is smooth so far. And Brett's away. I like 2 tires here. Force Kyle Busch's hand. Have him come get 4 if he wants to, but he knows he's going to lose the lead if he does.
You only need about 6.5 gallons from being full at the end of the 2nd stage to get to the end.
Sheldon Creed on pit road and headed toward Hermie.
Vince, he's loose in the entry of turns 1 and 2. It'll be 2 right side tires and an air pressure adjustment and fuel for Sheldon Creed. 88's coming in next time by.
Kyle Busch continues to lead, but remember, still has to come to pit road for the final time.
You think Busch is thinking just a gas and go, Phil? Running this far out on his tires?
No, I think right side tires is a call, because you can do right sides about the time it takes to put 1 can in.
Crafton on pit road, as Hermie indicated.
Vince, the 88 is snug on exit, too tight. It'll be 2 right side tires and a wedge adjustment to free the 88 up for the finish.
Matt spun her out of there, didn't he?
He did.
Harrison Burton on pit road. Alan.
Harrison Burton in the 18, another one of those drivers complaining about being too loose late in this race. 2 tires for the 18.
Meanwhile, Kyle Busch continues to build the lead. Gap 2nd place, Ross Chastain, but remember, Kyle still needs to come to pit road. Final time, final stop, and he's doing it this lap. We've seen a mistake or 2 on pit road cost Kyle in the past. You want to make sure it's just clean right here for Kyle Busch and the 51 team. A long drive down pit lane at speed. Make sure you don't get a penalty, no miscues. Allen is there.
And Vince, one of the benefits of being the leader and having a fast truck is being able to wait for everybody else on the track to call their shot and see their strategy. They're copying it. 2 tires for Kyle Busch, a small adjustment. He was complaining about being too loose. Back on the track for the race leader, Kyle Busch.
And no issues.
Hermie.
Todd Gilliland is away, making his final stop. And now Chastain. It's been a good run for Ross Chastain, doing triple duty for the 3rd straight week.
How about after all the issues we've had, Grant Enfinger now is leading this race.
That's why you stick around to the finish of a NASCAR race. You never know what these teams have in mind for strategy, how they might be able to stretch their fuel enough to do something special. You don't think Enfinger's on an economy run, do you?
Well, he can't make it that far. He can't make it 70 laps.
Oh, what about trouble? We talked about no problems on your last pit stop. Alan, it sounds like he killed the engine.
Yeah, he came down pit road. He was worried he was out of gas, Ross Chastain in the 45, and he may have been. You saw it took a little push after getting some fuel back into the truck to get started again. Wasted precious time after making a strategy call of fuel only for the 45 for Ross Chastain.
Yeah, that didn't pay off at all. Here comes Grant Enfinger to pit road for his final stop. And as he does, Kyle Busch will inherit the lead once again. It's been an interesting night for Enfinger tonight, Hermie. He's had some issues. Had the hood up at one point, but there he is.
Passed more trucks than anybody here tonight, Vince. Been to the back a couple different times. Remember, they ran a couple laps, had more fuel because it came down pit road a couple extra times getting that engine fixed, but it was fuel only for the 98, trying to gain a little bit of track position.
There's our leader, Kyle Busch, in some lap traffic, and the gap is closed, Phil. We went to pit road sequence, and he was about 3 seconds back. Now it's less than a second.
I think probably because he pitted 4 laps before Kyle, he was able to run fast with those new tires, those new right side tires there for a few laps, and there he is. He has him in his sights.
I think Kyle got held up by Anthony Alfredo right there in front of him as well and had to check up, and Brett Moffitt has closed the gap. Kyle around the outside of Alfredo, and Moffitt is right there with him.
Well, look at him gain on him through the center of the corner.
Well, we saw Stuart Friesen be able to keep pace with Kyle a long time once this stage started, and now it looks like Moffitt has a faster truck than Busch.
Late stages of the final stage of the race here in Las Vegas. Kyle Busch trying to hold off Brett Moffitt. 0.2 of a second difference for the lead. And our Gander Outdoors, 15 to go.
I like what Brett's doing there, Vince. I love going up high. Kyle goes to the bottom. Put your truck in some different kind of air, whether it's low or high. And look at the momentum he gains off turn 2.
Moffitt said earlier today he felt like he had something for Kyle Busch, and he is showing it right now.
Can he get up close enough to him to get him a little loose? He lost the front end. Moffitt lost the front end, lost some momentum there.
I think Moffitt went to the bottom and Kyle was driving in his mirror. Said, if you're going down there, I'm going with you. And you could see the effect it had on the 24 truck. But he'll be back. I think he's got a faster truck.
It went from 0.2 to 0.6 difference, and just with that little wiggle.
And it's going to be 0.2 again in a minute. I think Moffitt can really make a charge here.
All these spotters are upstairs now trying to make deals for these people to maybe move out of their way, give them the groove that they want. See Angela Ruck move over to the inside to allow Kyle to go on the outside as she's trying to get by the 12 of Gus Dean.
And we learned last week in the Cup race, some are a little more accommodating than others. Angela Ruck did give Kyle Busch plenty of time, and it looked like Moffitt maybe got held up just a tick by the 8 truck.
And
the advantage now a second.
Yes, Vince, you're exactly right. Look at the advantage that Kyle has now. Just what, 2-3 laps ago, Brett Moffitt was right on his tailgate.
Moffitt, the champion from a season ago, switched teams from Hattori Racing to GMS, and they have been working hard at GMS to not settle for the kind of season they had last year, which was by all means extremely successful, but they have been working hard, building new trucks, new engineering, making sure that they are better. And they said they think maybe it'll be closer to mid-season before they really hit full stride.
I think Kyle's hit it already.
About 14 years ago, I think he hit full stride here in the Truck Series.
Kyle Busch allowed to run 5 truck races during the course of the season, and of course he ran last week and won at Atlanta. He'll also run our next race at Martinsville. He'll run Texas, and he'll run Charlotte.
And then I don't think anyone of these truckers are going to be sad that he doesn't come back.
10 laps remaining for crew chief Rudy Fugle and his driver Kyle Busch.
That's better. Once Brett Moffitt lost ground there and lost that draft off Kyle Busch, he's been about 1/10 of a second a lap slower than Kyle.
Isn't that crazy? Just 1/10 of a second. It just breaks your heart when you're in that truck driving as hard as you can, and a guy's just that much better than you.
Kyle doing triple duty this weekend as well. Of course, tonight in the truck, he'll be in the Xfinity car tomorrow. And of course, the Monster Energy Cup car on Sunday.
And Vince, he got into the outside wall in his Xfinity car in practice today. They made repairs to it, and he went back on the track and had a very good practice session after that. But right up on the high side off turn 2, and Alan, he got that Xfinity car in the wall, but the truck looks like smooth sailing right now.
And Kyle Busch came over the radio, just said vibration, just once, never mentioned it again. That was about a lap ago. I'll keep listening to see if anything more comes of it.
You know, even for Kyle Busch in the final laps of a race, when you got to lead, every little noise and every little vibration, I mean, it has to be worrisome.
Well, that's what a crew chief doesn't want to hear that either. If I'm the crew chief, I just soon keep it to himself till he says I got to come to you, because now everybody's worried about that.
7 laps remaining. A week ago, he set the record in the series for the most career wins. His 52nd career victory, and he is less than 7 laps away from adding to that total.
Got to feel extra special. I know he's won a lot of races, but when you win a home game, that's what it's all about. Right down on the bottom track, you can see the sparks flying. Ross Chastain, after those problems on pit road, is going to fall a lap down here.
Just outside the top 10.
Not indicative of the kind of night that he's had. That one problem has really set him back.
Solid runs for these young drivers. Harrison Burton right now running in the 5th spot. That's Sheldon Creed, the 2 truck right behind him in 6th.
And behind Creed is Burton's teammate Todd Gilliland in 7th. Five laps remaining here in Las Vegas. Truck race number 3 of 23 this season. Creed, the ARCA champion from a year ago in that 2 truck. And Phil, you made the comment earlier about you expect good things from him, and I think once he just gets used to this truck racing, you're going to see it.
Oh, without a doubt. He was so impressive at Homestead last year with a top 5 finish there. I think he will be a contender here for some wins.
And he's stalking Harrison Burton. He's all down off the track on the front, just doing everything he can to try to close ground. Pretty nice little gap that Burton's got there right now. Little traffic there for our leader Kyle Busch.
It's Corbin Forrester just ahead of him in the 7. See Jordan Anderson in the 3 down on the white line. He's gotten his truck back up to speed after an issue. Kyle coming to the line, 3 laps remaining.
Pretty substantial lead right now, about 1 3/4 seconds over the second running Brett Moffitt.
There you see the gap. Moffitt with some traffic to go through.
It's not so much that if Kyle had to woe up because of traffic, if someone happened to get in the way, or if he had a bobble, that Moffitt wouldn't be all over him in a moment. But right now it is smooth sailing for Kyle Busch. 2 laps remaining, and Brett Moffitt running 2nd.
Nice job by Jordan Anderson getting way out of Brett Moffitt's way. Brett actually gained a couple 1/10 of a second. That's that last lap on Kyle.
Moffitt ran 3rd in this race a year ago, and he's going to look like he's going to better that here tonight. But no one has been better than the 51 of Kyle Busch. It has been amazing, and he gets the white flag. 1 lap remaining. Less than a mile and a half left for the Las Vegas native. Cut his teeth at the bull ring over here on this property. He won here in the Monster Energy Cup Series back in 2009. He won Xfinity 2016. He won this race last year, and he's going to go back to back. Kyle Busch is going to do it in Las Vegas again. Winning at home. Kyle victorious in Vegas. Consecutive wins for Kyle Busch and his crew chief Rudy Fugle. 53 for his career in the Truck Series, adding to his record. And Mike, I'm with you. You know, they say, hey, we want to be able to beat the best. You know, we want to be able to race against the best and beat the best. But after the beatings that Kyle's issued the last 2 weeks, I think they might want to reevaluate that stance.
We know we're going to get 18 chances because there's 18 races that he's not going to run.
Yeah, but I mean, think back in the day when Cup drivers, since the beginning of time, would go down and run the Busch Series.
Oh, yeah.
And to get to mix it up with Dale Earnhardt and Harry Gant, I mean, that was an honor.
Sure
I think
was.
these truckers should be thankful that they get the chance to put their talents up against the best trucker ever.
DW back in the day running for his own Busch Series team.
Kyle's had a lot of practice at this act. Allen's with his crew chief.
Winning crew chief Rudy Fugle. Your driver came on the radio with less than 10 to go and just says vibration. Were you nervous?
No, that's normal for him. It could mean a number of things. So, anyways, we were really good at Desert Tundra. The guys did a great job. KBM's worked really hard this winter. We've improved our trucks. It's about trying to get these kids where we got our trucks better so these kids can compete. And we're not there yet, clearly, but we're close. Harrison and Todd both had better races than last week. And we're trying to get this thing ready for Christian at the end of the year. So just learning with Kyle, trying to get the trucks better, and it's going good. It was a fun win.
Back-to-back wins for Kyle Busch and Rudy Fugle, guys.
Well, there will be some that will be critical of Kyle coming down to the Truck Series. I mean, it's what we hear every single time, but he's playing by the rules. He's allowed to run 5 races. He comes down and some he wins, some he doesn't, but he put on a dominating performance tonight.
Guys, I think down the road, maybe years from now, we're going to remember back on how special it was to see this talented driver do the amazing things that he has done in his NASCAR career.
Brett Moffitt, runner-up tonight. He's with Hermie.
So you happy, disappointed? How do you take this thing? You ran right to the back of the 51, and then what happened?
I just got loose behind him. We were both on 2 tires there, and it was just hard. We had to really use our stuff up driving back to the front. Another pit road mistake cost us a lot tonight. I'm not saying we could have beat him, but it sure would have been nice to have a little more time there. Yeah, just dirty air. There's only one groove really in 3 and 4 there. I tried to get close enough to pack air. I knew it was kind of going to be a make it or break it move, and that's what I decided to do, and just never could get back to him.
That's Brett Moffitt. Good rebound for this team. They finished second tonight.
I like that, though. You don't get many chances at Kyle, and he did what he felt like he had to do to try
Right,
at
to
that
make
moment.
something happen. Absolutely.
Rowdy. It's a rowdy kind of night in Vegas. That's nothing different, is it? Under the lights of Las Vegas, Kyle Busch, the winner tonight here in the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series. But it's been a busy day. We mentioned he's pulling triple duty. Now his day started with Monster Energy Cup practice. He was 7th fastest. Xfinity, Trucks, Cup. He's done it all today, and now he's going to celebrate in Victory Lane, and Allen's there.
Kyle Busch just adding to the win total, the title he already has of career win totals here in the Truck Series. Kyle, you always make this look easy, but what was your biggest challenge tonight?
Tight, just we fought it in practice a little bit. We worked on it an awful lot to make it better, and Rudy and these guys did an amazing job on this Cessna Tundra. It was really, really fast. Just kept working on it all night long. Every pit stop we come in, we worked on it. So I certainly want to thank Toyota and TRD, Rowdy Manufacturing, KBM, everybody at the shop. They do an amazing job. They build really fast Tundras. So thank Monster Energy, incredible bank, Black Clover, DVX sunglasses, of course the fans. It's cool to win here in your hometown and being in Las Vegas and starting off a triple weekend. Hopefully we can keep it going.
I was going to say, I don't want to put too much pressure on you, but you said the hardest part about doing the triple is winning the first race. What do you got for the rest of the weekend?
Well, I think the hardest one's going to be the second one. I don't know, but we obviously had a really fast truck tonight, and Rudy made it easier for me, but we worked really hard on this thing to get it there. We didn't start great in practice, but overall, proud to be in Victory Lane, proud to have little man with me, and we'll celebrate here hopefully again tomorrow.
Another home win for Kyle Busch.
Brexton's excited about it, as well he should be. Let's go to Hermie.
Well, Matt, this looked like the 88 team of old, and you guys started out with a crinkled up left rear fender. Were you surprised that your truck was that competitive the rest of the night?
I just kept trying to tell myself it really wasn't that bad, but I could hear them beating on it, and I could hear it in their voice how nervous they were about it. I mean, it made it pretty free in, and the tailgate on that Ford F-150 was definitely tore up as well. When we dropped the green, I was thinking it was a rocket ship, and they just kept working on it, and it had zero free in until we did that. But like I said, this was 88 team old, and we got our wheels back now.
That's Crafton third tonight and heading to a place next he's pretty good at as well, Martinsville.
Indeed. Thank you, Hermie. Kyle Busch continues to add to the total.
It's amazing what this young man has done here, and then still, only 33, 34 years old. So many more races and wins ahead of him, 33 years old. See, the king, Richard Petty, 200 Cup wins. Kyle Busch, you probably compare that more to Kevin Harvick, who ran a number of races in both series, or all three series, and 196 times that he's almost 20% of every NASCAR race that he's ever won, he's gone to victory lane.
I would put Richard Petty on a different page, though.
Yeah,
I agree. I
think that's a different 200 right there.
I'd put David Pearson on a different page.
I agree.
Yeah, with Richard.
Yeah. Let's go back downstairs.
Well, Stuart Friesen, first half of the race you were up front, looked like you had a shot to win, put on a show. Second half of the race you faded just a bit. Would you guys lose in the second half?
We just, when we made contact on the start with the 04 there and had that tire, thankfully the caution came out. And as soon as the caution came out, the car took a set and cut that tire down. But then we just had a mismatched set after that and had to put them on at the beginning of the third stage and just lost the handle on it. But proud of the Helmar team, proud of everybody at Chevy, working really, really hard to catch up and get some speed out of these things. So GMS Fab Shop is got a long list of stuff to work on in the next couple of weeks, and proud to be associated with those guys, and we'll march on. We raced with the best tonight, so that was cool, and gonna catch a red eye home tonight and see Parker and Jess tomorrow, so looking forward to seeing everybody at home.
This guy's fun to watch. He finished 4th tonight.
I like his attitude. He thinks they've got some stuff in the pipeline, it sounds like, at GMS, that they're going to improve the performance of those trucks. I look forward to seeing how that works when we head out to Texas.
It won't take a lot to be able to run with that 51 truck.
Career win number 53. Rowdy taking care of business in Victory Lane tonight.
There is the trophy for the Strat 200. Going to tonight's winner